Okay, I'm talking about the lower berry bed here. This blackberry, which has gotten enormous and unwieldy, has made exactly one berry. So I probably need to look at the variety and see if it's going to be fruiting next year. Although it did make one, so I don't know. But as you can see, it's huge. I put tomatoes over here because, again, ran out of places to put them, and they did actually pretty well. But like all the other tomatoes are kind of done for. These little cherry tomatoes the friend gave me. Pawpaw tree, looking pretty good. A little bug eaten, but definitely looking strong. The elderberry tree that propped up part of it a while ago because it was getting real floppy and sprawly. I mean, it is in pretty much full shade, so that's par for the course, but I figured that separating it some would keep it from getting powdery mildew, which does seem to have helped, and it seems to be putting on a fair bit of new growth, so that's exciting. And then the raspberries, the ends of Prima-Canes are just starting to fruit, which is awesome because we just ended raspberry season on the lateral canes, and so when the ones with the laterals were done fruiting, I cut them down, give everybody some more room. They're pretty much done. And yeah, the blueberries, we had a couple of tiny berries that were hanging on that never did ripen. A couple of those there, so I probably need to cut that back. The strawberries creeped out of the beds a good ways. I think I'm going to dig those up and take them up front at some point. I did put a whole mess of squash in here. This one actually made the tiniest little butternut. So cute. I found it all the way ripe. Let me see, it's trying to come back. It struggled a lot. I really haven't done anything to help it though. So these guys, raspberries in between, pink lemonade blueberries that have dropped their buds. That raging monstrosity, which is again something I just haven't kept up with as I should have. But there's raspberry canes in between here. And then it's a black cherry tomato, which we've got starting to get some fruit on. You see it's got a bunch over there. I just cut some of the branches off because it's starting to get a little diseased. But altogether, considering it's grown in more or less in the shade and unmaintained, it's been doing pretty good. And then I've got a green zebra back there. Got a big fat tomato on it. And then, so these guys were the original squash plants, I thought. And I believe we've come to believe that these pumpkins were in my butternut squash seed packet. Had to have been intermixed because at the point I did buy some pumpkin seeds this year, but I actually didn't start them till late. So these were not, when I put these out, I did not yet have pumpkin seeds. So this is like the third year in a row I've gotten pumpkins without actually planting pumpkins, and I've got quite a few. So yeah, but the plants, these have been out basically since April, so finally getting a bunch of powdery mildew. So I started cutting back the foliage, kind of letting the fruit ripen, keeping enough in the ground to let the fruit go, and eventually we'll have it. But yeah, plants are looking sad, taking up the entirety of my yard and starting to run into the squash from that bed. See, we're about to have a mid-yard fist bump right here. Okay, the end.